Oh, there we go. There's the bell. All right. Okay. All right. So there's the bell. All right. Press pause and do the do now, and then we'll go over it. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. So this is like yesterday and the day before the topics, and so now I don't know if you notice anything that's slightly different than the 2 days we've done this. Uh, yeah. How's it different? Yeah, the letter comes in the end, which is fine. I mean, if you want to, you could switch it and then find the GCF, so on and so forth, but you don't have to. All right. So with that said, what's the GCF between 63 and 45? Yeah, it's 9, right? So we'll write that 9, and then 9 times what is 63? Yep, 7. 9 times what is 45? Right, 5, but don't forget about the B, right? And there you have it. Okay. If you want to, you can rewrite this as 5b plus 7. All right, doesn't change anything. Okay, and I already have a feeling that some of you might rewrite this as 12b. Not true. These aren't like terms. You can combine them. Okay, 5b cannot be added to 7. Like, this is it. This is simplest form. Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's see. Unit 7, day 34. Let's see. Homework tonight is 5 questions. From the website, and then announcements. Next Monday, I'll give you the official grading policy for marking period 4. Hold on, let me go over this first. So, I think, all right, I think you're going to have a quiz this Friday on the distributive property factoring binomial. So basically the stuff we learned this week, last week, and the week before. Okay. So maybe a little bit of combining like terms. All right. Now, it so happens that we are also at the end because today's topic is the last topic of the unit of unit 7. So typically we would have a unit test for this, right? So um, probably not going to give you a unit test because a unit test would require that I give you probably like 20 questions. Okay, and I'm not sure if I want to give you 20 questions. All right, to do a take home test for, and it's a lot of questions. I mean, 20 questions is a lot of questions. So now, why am I telling you this? Okay, how can I close this? I can't close this. Okay. Great. So um yeah, so I mean, if I'm going the unit test route, I might give you something like 15 questions as a unit test. If I'm going the quiz route, I'm gonna give you 10 questions, like all the quizzes we've taken so far, uh, when we're doing this remote learning thing. Okay, so the topics won't change that much. So I might put, if it's a 15-question quiz, I might give you like a couple of like one-step equation questions. Okay, nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary, and I would go so far as to say that I don't think they're gonna be like, very hard at all. Okay. Um, what else do I have to tell you? So now that also makes it that it's not often. No, how should I say this? I don't think it's gonna be every Friday you're gonna have a quiz. Sometimes it's just the timing. Sometimes I don't finish the lesson by Friday. You might have a quiz on Monday or Tuesday. So it might look something like that. But typically, ideally, given you know what's going on here, it's I would like to give you a quiz as soon as the unit is over. The topic is over. Okay, I don't like sometimes I give you quizzes like I wait like a day, right, or two. I rather much rather give it to you guys right at the end. Okay, homework. Continue to write the homework number and then the full name. All right, on the quiz, I'm gonna give you 4 extra points. I'm gonna up the ante. So I'm gonna give you 4 extra points for as extra credits. Okay, I'm trying to work on. So yesterday it took me a little later to upload the video, not because I was slacking off, but I was trying to make the videos a little bit better quality. Okay, not only in terms of the way I teach, but also just I just want to make it a little more fun. All right, and because I know some of these videos can be very dry sometimes, but I also want to reward people who watch this like from beginning to end every day. Okay, so that's for you. Um, what else can I say now? Oh yeah, uh, because fourth marking period has begun, even though we don't know what the exact grading policy is going to be starting next Monday. I think that might still be changing. I'm just gonna tell you now, whatever work you do for not just me but your other teachers, like they're gonna count because, and the reason why I'm even telling you that they're gonna count is because the week before, again, like I said yesterday, like we weren't supposed to give you graded work, during the quote unquote spring break, and prior to that, for the last 2 weeks of the third marking period, I ended up, and I think many of your teachers ended up not counting the grades during the first 2 weeks of this remote learning thing. So, so even though I didn't use those grades for the last 2 weeks of March, and then last week because of the break, we had like 3 to 4 weeks where the work technically ended up or technically not being used on your report card. But this is completely different now. Okay, so take it very seriously. I'm gonna tell you now. Like I'm gonna have to email students, and then if you guys still don't respond by doing your assigned work, I'm gonna have to email your parents. All right, because I gotta make sure you guys stay on track. Okay, so yeah, all right, that's that. So I can't say enough. All right, your work counts now. Okay, all right. So let's move on. Now write this down. So let's take a very quick because we're at the end here of the unit. So let me give you a very quick rundown of everything we've done so far. So at the beginning of this unit, we did some substitution in unit 7A. All right, so 7A we did substitution. That was it. I feel like that was it. It must be more than that. But we did some substitution, okay, right? Evaluating expressions, all right? And then for unit 7B, we did one-step equations, right? We solved one-step equations like these, right? Remember those, right? And then afterwards, we were solving two-step equations. Oh, no, we didn't. No. That's 7th grade. Okay, we were combining like terms, right? Remember these activities? I'm just trying to like help you remember this stuff. Right? We're combining like terms. We did all these exercises. Remember that? All the chili peppers. And then afterwards, we were doing the distributive property. Right? So we did all these sort of questions. Right? Remember all that? And then we distributed and combined together. And then this is what we did Monday, right? We factor binomials, right? We did the opposite of the distributive property, right? So we did like all these like crazy like activities. Well, they're not crazy. Okay, so yep, here's today's topic. Last topic of Unit 7, and then we'll move into Unit 8, which is geometry. Okay, so all right, so go ahead and copy this, all right, down right now. So press pause, copy this down today and tomorrow and Friday, maybe Monday. So this is why I don't want to give you a quiz yet. We're gonna be doing actually I could give you a quiz on Friday. It's just gonna have to be distributive property combining like terms. You know what? I think I'm gonna give you a quiz on Friday. Because even if we don't finish this Friday, I mean you can already do the distributive property combining like terms. So yeah, maybe 10 questions. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's for now say that we're gonna have a quiz Friday. Okay. All right. And then if it changes, then I'll cancel it last minute. Okay. All right. So inequalities, no equal sign. So one of the things I want to show you is the supposition that let's say you were solving an equation, right? Now, typically here you would divide both sides by 3, so on and so forth. And my what supposition for you is that let's say we don't use an equal sign because that's what the word inequality means. Okay, equal right here you got the root of the word equal, right, which tells you about the equal sign, right? What happens when we have something that is unequal or unequal? That means they're not equal. So that means for your equation here, two things happen. One is you can no longer call this an equation. And two is you cannot use the equal sign, right? Because this is an inequality, not an equality. So what does that mean? What does that even mean, right? If I don't have an equal sign, what do I put there instead? I could use a greater than sign, all right? Now, my understanding is you guys, many of you learned this in 5th grade. Just this little part, okay? But we're going to go much deeper into that. So it could be 3x is greater than 15. It could be 3x is less than 15, all right? Now, there's actually more than that. We could say 3x is greater than or equal to 15, or that 3x is less than or equal to 15. Okay, so let's go a little further and see what I'm talking about. Okay, so now there's going to be quite a bit of note taking today. Okay, so you're going to have to write this down. So, okay, all right. So I'm going to go a little slower so you guys can actually copy this. Okay. So, all right. So the first symbol. So one of the things that you will see that marks an inequality question is that this topic here focus more on two things. One is the symbols that you use. So these symbols here. And secondly, the words that we use. So the symbol, the words, and also the graph. So after we do this, I'm going to teach you how to graph the answer. Okay, and there's a reason why behind that. Okay, so let's just do things in order first. So inequalities, less than, how do you write that sign? Right here, like this. So for example, if we say x is less than 3, the symbol would be written as x is less than 3. Okay, and we'll talk about graphing in a second. Okay, so write this down. Okay, less than, less than, less than, less than. Okay, now, what I'm about to show you is show you a way for those of you who didn't remember or didn't get a chance to learn this, is how you read this arrow symbol. Okay, so the way I did, I found this online. Okay, so now I think many of you had a 5th grade teacher that said, you know, the alligator, right? So the imagination is like, you know, I can't draw. I'm not going to draw an alligator. So the mouth of the alligator is always facing something large, and the way I tell my students is the arrow always points at the smaller one, right? Because like it's narrow, right? It's sharper, it's smaller. So the arrow always points at the smaller quantity, and the arrow or the mouth of the alligator is always facing something that's the bigger quantity. Okay, so for example, right, if we say 3 is less than 5, right, so 3 and 5, now first of all, they're not equal, right, we know that. So less than, how do you write the less than symbol? Like this. Arrow points at the smaller number or the quantity, and the mouth of the alligator is trying to eat um, the larger quantity or number. Okay, so again, arrows point at the smaller quantity. Okay, now so the second one is this. So you might want to write this down right now. So less than or equal to now, or at most, no more than maximum. So I'll give you an example. This is less than, right? Or equal to. So imagine if this and this were combined together. This is the symbol you'll get. That's the symbol. So this is the less than or equal symbol. So let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example for both of these. So if I say something is less than, how am I doing on time, by the way? Okay, if I say something is less than 3, so let's say, what's a good example? All right, okay. So let's say you are, let's say you were going to a theme park, right? And like, let's say you want to relive your childhood memory, and those games where people sit on those like saucer cups and they're just spinning around. Let me see if I can find out. I'll insert a slice of the I'll insert a video footage of that. So those saucer cups, like, and they just spin around, and like, you usually see like, a bunch of like really young kids and like their parents, right? And let's say you want to go on it, right? Like you're like 11 years old and you want to, hang out with a 3-year-old. And let's say there's a sign in there, right? It says, you must be younger. You must be younger than 5 years old, right? To ride this. What does that mean? Yeah, you have to be younger than 5. You have to be less than 5 years old. So if you're 5, can you ride the flying saucer cup thing? No, right? Because you're 5. Like, it has to be younger than 5. So if you're 4 years old, can you ride it? Yeah, right. If you're 3 years old, can you ride it? Yeah. So that's what that means, right? Less than means anything less. So let's come back to this. Let's use this as an example. So let's say you have to be less than 5 years old, right? So 5 is no good. Like 5 is too old for that ride. Okay, so you can be 4.5 years old, right? You could be like 4 years and 364 days old, right? But you cannot be 5 years old. Okay, that's too old, right? So you have to like be younger than that. Okay. Now, on the other hand, less than or equal to sounds something like this. Let's say you're on the same ride, right, at a different park. It says a maximum age is 5 years old, right? Which means something like this. So let me ask you this: Can you, if you're 5 years old, can you ride the flying saucer thing? Yeah, right. Maximum age. So they're saying the oldest you can be is 5. So you could be 5. Now, what happens if you're 4? Can you ride if you're 4? Yeah, right, because you're still less than 5 years old. How about 3 years old? Yeah, you can, right? Now, what about 6 years old? Can you do it? No, because the maximum age is 5. So the way we write that is less than, right? So 4, 3, 2, 1 years old, right? Or equal to, which means if you're 5, you're still okay. Okay, all right? You see what I'm talking about? Greater than will go this way, go the opposite way, all right? By the way, also, it also depends on the direction that you read it, but I'll get to that in a second. All right, greater than. So let me give you an example. Easy, right? What's PG 13, right? So if a movie is PG 13, that means you have to be, actually, no, PG 13 is what, 13 or above? Oh, so that's not good. What's a good example? I don't know actually. Hold on. Let's use another amusement park. So let's say you really want to ride the what? The Cyclone in Coney Island, right? So you want to ride that, like, old rickety wooden structure that is the Cyclone in Coney Island. And it says you have to be older than I don't know, like 15, which is not true. Okay. You have to be, I don't think so at least. You have to be older than 15 years old to ride. So that means your age has to be greater than 15 in order to ride the Cyclone. Okay, so if you're 14, can you do it? No. If you're 15, can you ride the Cyclone? No, you have to be older than 15. Okay, you guys got that? Right? So 13 is no good, 12 is no good, 11 years old is no good. Okay, so last one now. Let's use the PG-13 as an example. Actually, I'd like, yeah, fine. I'll give you 2 examples here. So let's say a movie is PG-13, right? So that means in order for you to watch a movie, actually, man, what's the rule in PG-13 again? You have to watch the movie if you're actually, yeah. So no, I actually don't know the rule exactly. Okay, all right, let's not use that. So let's say you're in a an elevator. Oh, actually, no. Okay, all right. Wrong example. Hold on. I should have used this for the elevator. Okay. All right. What's another? Hmm. Okay. All right. Let's say. Hold on. Let me pause. Hold on. Let me think. Let me think real quick. Okay. All right. I got one. So let's say in an amusement park, right? Now, sometimes they don't do the age thing. Sometimes they use the height thing, right? So they have to be. Sometimes they say, like, if a ride is a little more complicated, right? They would say a minimum or at least minimum height, right? So they use it. Okay, I can't spell minimum. Minimum height of, let's say, like 5 feet. All right, so they want the person to be at least 5 feet tall. So how do you write that? Right? Um, Greater than or equal to. So at least, right? More than or equal to 5 feet. Okay. So can you be more than 5 feet? Of course. So if you're 6 foot tall, right? You can ride it. If you're 5'1", you can ride it, right? What happens if you're only 5 foot tall? Yeah, you can still ride you can still do the ride. Okay. Now what happens if you're 4'11"? Yeah, you can't, right? Because you don't meet the minimum height. Okay, so that's what that means. Okay, all right. So let's see. So we talked about this. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, you know what? This is good. Actually, this is good practice. Okay, all right. So what's that sound? Okay, all right. So here, let's do some of these practice. Let's practice. Okay, so first question. You must be at least 5 feet tall. Okay, we just did that. All right, how do you write that? So let's use X, right, to represent your height. At least 5 feet tall. How do you write that? Yeah, greater than or equal to, right? At least 5 feet. Right, so can you be 5 foot tall? Yes. Can you be 6 foot tall? Yep. Can you be 7 foot tall? Yep. Can you be 4'10"? No. Right? Okay. All right. So you must be older than 18. How do you write that? Yeah. Like this. Okay. So can you be 18? No. Can you be older than 18? Can you be 19? Yeah. Can you be 17? No. Right? So that's how you'll write that. This one's great because this happens a lot when I buy sneakers. All right. It says no more than 2 pairs per purchase. So how do you write that? No more than 2 pairs. So can you buy 2 pairs? Yes, you can buy 2 pairs. Okay, can you buy 3 pairs? No. Can you buy 1 pair? Yep. And that's how you write that, right? X is less than or equal to 2, right? A maximum, right? Maximum at most, right? Okay. Minimum order. So when you go online and you try to buy food, I don't know, on Uber Eat or I don't know, Grubhub, right? Those companies, and the restaurant says the minimum order is $15. So how do you write that? So think about it. All right. Can you order $15 worth of food? Yes, right. But that's the least amount. Like you can't go $14.99. Like they won't take your order, right? $14 they won't. Can you get something for $16? Yeah. $20? Yeah. $100? Yeah. So that's how you would write it. Your order, right? Your order has to be bigger than 15, or it has to be equal to 15 or more, right? So minimum at least, right? You have to spend at least, you guys heard that before, right? Or your parents have too, right? You have to spend at least this much money. So, right? Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's do two more. I think there's two more. Okay, so let's say you go to I don't know, a very small theater, and it says the maximum capacity is 275 people. How do you write that? Maximum capacity. Most people, right? So that means it has to be less than 275 or equal to 275. I know what some of you might be thinking. You say maximum, that means greater than, right? You think minimum, so it means less than. No, 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 no. It's like, think of this as the floor, right? This is the floor. The floor says it's $15. That's the least amount. You can spend more than that, right? And this one's more like a ceiling. So floor is, hey, you gotta spend at least $15. Ceiling is go no higher than 275. So can you have 0 people? Sure. Right? That's a 0, by the way. Can you have 0? Sure. Can you have 275? Sure, you can have 275, but that's the maximum capacity. If you go over to 276, then that's you broke the rule. Okay? Okay, you guys understand, right? So this is less than or equal to 275. No more than. This also means no more than 275 people. So that's the kind of language. So my challenge today is for you to turn English words and situations into a mathematical symbol. Okay? All right. Now, last one. You must be younger than 2 years old to enter. Okay, so how do you write that? Younger than 2. So let me ask you, can you be 2 years old to enter? No, you have to be younger than 2. So it has to be less than 2. That's why there's no line underneath it. Okay, because it's not equal. There's no equal sign. Okay, all right. You must be younger than no more than, again. Actually, no, this just means less than. Yeah, this just means less than. You have to be less than 2 years old. Okay, all right. So now, let me see what we're supposed. Oh, how to graph it? How are we doing here? 28. Yeah, but then we gotta do this. Draw a graph for each inequality. We can save this for tomorrow, I guess. Hold on, let me think. Let me press pause and let me think real quick. Okay. All right. You know what? This is enough information for today. Okay. So tomorrow, here's what we're gonna do tomorrow. And besides, we're at the 30-minute mark. So, I mean, in a normal lesson where I come around and check your homework and like answer, 15 questions during the announcements plus the gudetama, all that stuff, it's probably gonna be like at least what? Yeah, like 40 minutes. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We're at a good stopping point. Tomorrow we're gonna learn how to graph inequalities. All right, that's probably the second most Actually, it might be the first most important thing in this topic. So we'll talk about graphing inequalities, and then we'll start solving one-step inequalities probably Friday. So yeah, you know what? Let's try to have a 10-question quiz on Friday based on what we did. Based on what we did Monday, Tuesday, and then the week before we went on break. Okay, quote unquote break. Okay, so let me stop here. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's the bell. All right. Don't tell me you don't miss that bell.
OMG, that was so good.